So now I want to go to Democratic Congressman Khanna at the center of this. He sits on the House Oversight Committee, and he is a member of the crucial Congressional Progressive Caucus. So I really appreciate your time. Okay, you see that video of Manchin and Sanders together tonight. What do you read into that?
I think it's wonderful. I had suggested to President Biden that the two of them meet. I'm glad that they have met. It shows that they are working to resolve differences, to compromise, and everyone understands the stakes. We have to pass the president's agenda. Democracy is at stake. We have to show that we can govern.
Right. Of course, President Biden, when you had suggested, I believe, said it would be homicidal. But there they are. They did meet.
So wasn't homicide.
So let me ask you about the deadline now, such that I understand it, right? That a vote on the $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill is got to happen by October 31st. Manchin said today that that's not likely. So you may have a really big decision to make. Will you vote for the infrastructure bill, the bipartisan one, regardless of where the separate spending bill stands?
Erin, it's not going to come for a vote. The president has said, the speaker has said that they have to come together. Let me just briefly explain why. When that bipartisan deal was negotiated, it was with 19 senators. There wasn't a single House member involved, not even the House Transportation Chair. We wanted to amend it. We wanted to add electric vehicle provisions. We wanted to add clean energy standards. The president and the speaker said, no, do it in the separate bill. So both bills have to move because we're not allowed to amend what the senators came up with.
Right, but part of the reason that they did that ostensibly with some of those things you mentioned is it wouldn't have passed the Senate. You know, it would have been an unpassable piece of legislation. Somebody like Joe Manchin wouldn't get on board. I'm wondering if ultimately, if you have to choose between getting that bipartisan bill or nothing at all, do you choose nothing or do you choose the bill?
I don't think that will be the choice. I think the choice will be we will come to a compromise and we will have two bills. Now, I do think we have to compromise on the Build Back Better agenda and sit down with Senator Manchin, lower under $3.5 trillion and come to an agreement. But I do believe we will have both bills, and I do believe there will be some strong climate provisions in them.
All right. So how do you think that happens with him? Because as you point out, right, it's not just that the numbers are incredibly different, right? It's actually the substance, right? Joe Manchin has said he wants a work requirement for the child tax credit. He doesn't want the paid leave policies in there. He's not fully supportive of community college being paid for. He's not for expanding Medicare, right? And obviously, he's not for the climate change provisions in the bill. That's a lot of not being for things. I mean, all those things to me would seem to be things that are core for you. Can you compromise and drop a few of them?
Well, Erin, let me start with some of the positive. He came out today, Senator Manchin, for universal preschool. That was a positive. That suggests that he does believe in certain things with education. You can't have universal programs. On the child tax credit, he voted for the American Rescue Plan, which was means tested, but had much higher income levels than $60,000. I believe we could talk to him and say, look, $60,000 isn't a lot of money in California. We need to have higher thresholds, and I believe we can reason. But the most important thing is this. Senator Manchin cares about a lot of families, mining families, other families that have had pride in their work. And he needs to be assured that those families will have opportunities and jobs so that they have pride and not just a handout. It is our job to convince him that this will be a win for West Virginia and new jobs, and I believe we can do that. We should, frankly, earmark a certain amount of jobs for heavy fossil fuel states that they know that they will be able to deliver for families.
So the president's meeting tomorrow with a group of progressives. I know he met with the chair of your caucus, Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, today, but tomorrow with progressives and moderates. Do you plan to be there, and what do you want to say to him?
I'm looking forward to it, and it's not about what I say to him. It's what he says to us. He's the president of the United States. I think it's time for us to follow him. He should offer a compromise that is fair, and we need to get behind him and get this done. And that is what I have indicated in the past. He has a lot of goodwill, a lot of trust in the caucus. It's time for him to lead and us to get behind his vision.
All right, Congressman, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.